So we had the September 23rd, 24th go by without a hitch. Final blood moon Sunday night, the 27th and 28th. Nothing really seemed to happen. This blood moon cycle is written in religious text, Nostradamus, prophets from the past. It is of great importance. We're just about to find out in just a few days after this event what has actually been occurring, especially today. Keeping in mind that this particular blood moon, with the 4 of them in a 2-year span, with the 2 eclipses in between the middle or whatever it was, is a significant one in that it has only happened 7 times in the last 2,000 years, since Christ was around, they say. Also keeping in mind the religious texts that talk about blood moons and what they usually bring, which is not good, and along with some of your favorite prophets out there, including Nostradamus, none of them said on the exact day at the stroke of midnight of a blood moon, the final blood moon, you're going to see the things I've forecast, the prophet, whatever. No. It marked a point in time that they felt like you should be paying attention to things happening around your area and the world when you see these signs in the sky, because it's not going to be looking good. That was the point. So how American is it? Let me ask you this. Raise your hand if you're an American. How American is it to want immediate gratification? And if we don't get it, it's nonsense. As George Bush Jr. once said to a lady working 3 jobs, and she said, "But I have to work 3 jobs." And he said, "Truly American. Truly American." Like it was a good thing. And that's my response to the bozos out there who counted down to the last second. Blood moon cycle, nothing happened. Okay. Since nothing happened, I'm just going to read a couple of headlines here. I don't even know where I should start. BBC, mainstream media. Syria crisis. Russian airstrike against Assad enemies. Russian airstrikes against Assad enemies. And they got some video to play to show you the blast and whatnot. The strike reportedly hit rebel-controlled areas of Homs and Hama provinces, causing casualties. The U.S. says it was informed an hour before they took place. Russian defense officials say aircraft carried out about 20 missions targeting ISIS. But U.S. officials said that so far they did not appear to be targeting ISIS-held territory. That's because ISIS are these paid rebels, just like Al-Qaeda, how do you spell that? Al-Qaeda, Al-Qaeda, and ISIS, ISIL, whatever you want to call them, is another CIA front. Do you think by chance they've been accidentally getting weapons, U.S. vehicles, armored, some of them, and I don't mean big like tanks or nothing, but some pretty decent gear, over and over and over? And how many times have we heard in the news, oh my God, ISIS is extremely well funded. Extremely well funded. Well, I guess you could say that if the United States is throwing billions and billions and billions of dollars at them, then yeah, that's how they're well funded. And that's also how they have United States military weapons, gear, vehicles out the wazoo, because they're our boys. We're paying for them. We want them to overthrow Assad. Saudi Arabia just said they were getting ready to go in and strike Assad, get him out of there. He has to go right away. We're going to get involved. Before Russia actually attacked. So that was like yesterday. I heard that from Saudi Arabia. Russia says, no. Ain't happening. Why don't you work with us, Saudi Arabia, United States, China's with us on this one, and let's both target ISIS. How can we say yes when we know if we say yes, we're going to be attacking the guys that we are having overthrow Assad? The guys that we gave the weapons to and everything, they're going to be in all this United States equipment. And then when they see the United States helping bomb them, they're probably going to blow the whistle. Hey, CIA and the boys have been funding us. Now we're not taking this anymore. Now that you're trying to kill us, hey, everybody, the United States is the one that created us and funded us. Can't have that. So what do we do as the U.S.? We'll just back out and kind of do nothing. So bombing airstrikes have taken place today by Russia. When's the last time you heard Russia bombing and using their military force like this? You mean to tell me they just got wise and said, oh, hold on, oh. It's the blood moon. It's the blood moon. ISIS, I must break you. Do you think they said that? No. There's no chance that, it's a blood moon, let's go do this now. No. Bottom line is, if this stuff is in religious texts going back thousands of years, it's in coming out of the mouth of Nostradamus and others about these blood moons and the importance of them, and to pay attention when you see them, because things are not going to be looking good in the future after that. Not one of them said on the stroke of midnight of the blood moon. Only the moronic American is going to say, hey, it's the day after. We're good. Back to work as usual. Oh, hold on. Back to work as usual? I don't think so, because maybe you didn't just hear that. Russia has begun carrying out airstrikes in Syria against opponents of Assad. He's attacking our guys, so to speak. Al-Qaeda, if you will. Let's get that news headline out of the way. Oh, historic. We already knew this. I already told you this was coming. Historic raising of Palestinian flag at United Nations. This is breaking news. CNN, another mainstream. In case, people out there don't want to deal with alternative media, can't talk nonsense. CNN, that's got to be real, right? Propaganda for the most part, but they're covering this and everywhere else is covering it too. Historic raising of Palestinian flag at United Nations, 4:38 p.m. Eastern Time today, September 30th, 2015. It's a watershed moment that has won support on many fronts, but drawn condemnation from Israel, of course, and the United States, of course. The Palestinian flag was raised outside the headquarters of the United Nations in New York for the first time Wednesday. Under cloudy skies, the politically sensitive flag raising ceremony took place at 1:16 p.m. at the UN's Rose Garden. The historic moment came after Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas told the UN General Assembly that the Palestinian Authority was no longer bound by the Oslo Peace Accords. At the ceremony, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon called the occasion a day of pride for the Palestinian people around the world and a day of hope. Now is the time to restore confidence by both Israelis and Palestinians for a peaceful settlement and, at last, the realization of two states for two peoples, he said. Well, as we talked about this, we knew Palestine was going to become a state, a country, if you will. Israel's not going to have it. I can just see, I can smell the Webbot report being right on this one, where Israel just feels like, I'm backed in a corner. I'm just going to attack these people. And that's when the bombs and the missiles and the planes start flying. And I can remember that old Webbot report in detail. And they said whatever the response was from Israelis' attack, and they couldn't tell, was it a Israel/US attack or just Israel? Wasn't clear in the Webbot, but whatever the defense was against it was pretty significant and unexpected. Like, whoa, we weren't expecting that kind of retaliation or that defense. Holy crap. And I remember another piece of that Webbot report saying that one of these missiles from Israel would hit its target and hit, assuming it was Iran, I believe the report thought, and it still very well could be, because you know how Israel feels about Iran. But now they got Iran, they've got Syria to deal with. Those who don't like it. And all of a sudden I hear news today, let me finish this. One of these missiles gets through to an underground facility. Oh, we didn't know that was down there. Radioactive waste goes throughout the area. Not good. And as I'm seeing all this happening today, what I'm reading, not the Webart report stuff, but this, I see a little news headline. Oh, a little, not major breaking, little breaking news. Saudi Arabia catches Iranian fishing vessel, captures it, and on board they find rocket launchers and military equipment that was heading for Syria. I don't believe you for 1 second, Saudi Arabia, who just got their seat at the United Nations on the Human Rights Council, in which they're just getting ready to crucify a teenager for speaking something politically in 2012. He's going to crucify him in front of everybody. They've already chopped off, I want to say somewhere near or above 100 heads this year alone. And they are in charge of the United Nations. They are the top dog on the Human Rights Committee. And they are not happy with Assad in Syria. They never liked Iran. So is it any coincidence that they're going to tell you, stop right there. When's the last time you heard Saudi Arabia captured some vessel offshore and it had something on it? Never. So you mean to tell me that now that they're going to call Palestine a state, Russia said hell no to the bombing of Assad and removal of Assad. He's standing by them. China is right next to Russia on that one. They've even sent a little bit of military help over there, from what I just read also. You have these events, and then all of a sudden, Saudi Arabia catches a fishing vessel with, get the hell out of here. Think I'm some kind of moron? No, J-Snip, not you, the rest of the sheeple. We're trying to trick them. Oh, gotcha. Okay. What else do we have next? Speaking of the Russian thing, again, Express UK website, news website. UK must prepare for war with Russia. Army calls for fleet of battle tanks to take on Putin. Britain must invest in its fleet of main battle tanks to meet an increasing threat of ground war with Russia, senior army officers have warned. Senior officers of who? The UK, our number one ally. It comes as tensions between NATO countries and Moscow continue to mount, with Russia threatening nuclear countermeasures over a plan to bolster nuclear facilities in Germany. David Cameron is currently trying to find a compromise deal with Russian President Vladimir Putin over tackling the ISIS terror group in Syria. Well, David, I hate to say it, buddy, but I'm sure you already know the same thing we know in America and Obama and friends, and that is ISIS was not some terror group that's really doing all these things. We saw the fake beheadings. We already caught that one. Nailed that one. The fake sister comes on, pretends to be the beheaded brother, James Foley's sister. Her name was Alexis or Alex Foley, who happens to be the identical same girl who 2 years prior to the beheading, which would have been 2012, was Adam Lanza, the shooter of Sandy Hook, best friend or friend schoolmate. No one else seemed to know Adam Lanza except for her. And then 2 years later, her name has changed to Alex Israel. Her name was Alex Israel, and it changed to Katie Foley to pretend to be James Foley's sad sister. Learned her brother just got his head cut off, and can't seem to stop laughing hysterical at times during the interview of finding out her brother just got his head cut off. Again, this is fake. And if that's fake, then that means ISIS is fake. If the beheading's fake, ISIS is fake. If she's fake, ISIS is fake. It doesn't exist. It is a rebel group recreated to destabilize the Middle East, as usual. That's what we do. And I hate to say it, proud USA, proud to be an American. Sorry. It is what it is. Just like I can tell you, these Catholic priests and their pedophilic ways, and you can get upset at me and yell at me for pointing out the, I'm a Catholic, don't you start. That's your religion. The Pope could have taken them guys out, couldn't he? You did what to even one child, or much less 13 children? You're gone. Nope. Instead, let's just hide it and cover it up. So I expect the same thing. Oh, you're not American. You're not patriotic. Save it. Save it for some moron, not me. So here we have this now. David Cameron, I got to try to work with Vladimir. Yeah, work all you want. You already know. If you get involved, we're going to be attacking essentially American assets. America's not going to like that, so we can't do that. So maybe we'll just back out too. So on to the next thing. This is all like today. Everything I'm reading you is timestamped today, September 30th, 2015. So much for a peaceful blood moon. 15 massive blasts in, I don't know how to pronounce this, Guangxi, China. At least 6 killed, 13 injured. Police blame explosive parcels or packages, right? At least, and I'm looking at some of the pictures here. If that was a small package, parcel, one of these buildings is pretty much, the whole side of it's collapsed quite significantly. It would have been a hell of a postal bomb in a package to do this. And that's one out of 15 massive blasts. Get ready for the news story. At least 6 people were killed and dozens injured after parcels containing explosives caused massive explosions in Luqing County and Luizhou County in China's north-central Guangxi Zhang Autonomous Region, CCTV reported. A suspect has been identified. Up to 15 explosions were heard across the city between 3:15 and 5 p.m. Of those killed, 5 were certified dead at the blast sites and 1 died after being rescued. The locations included a shopping mall, a prison, a county government office, a supermarket, a transport station, a hospital, a staff dormitory of animal husbandry, and a vegetable market, and a disease control center. These are pretty interesting targets, would you agree? For one lone bomber to just pick? Hold on. Local authorities activated emergency alert, blah, blah, blah. And they have little Twitter updates. And there's some pretty major destruction from these bombs. The suspect has been reportedly been identified as, there's that number, there's that 33. That's the club sign to let you know that there's something to this, 33. The suspect has reportedly been identified as a 33-year-old man from Luqing County with the surname of Wei. Channel News Asia correspondent Jeremy Kaw stated on Twitter. Suspect blast reportedly identified 33, whatever. He added that the incident was apparently provoked by a medical dispute and that the suspect wanted to take revenge on society. Right. So I'm going to read you the first comment under this. This is from Russia Today News. M.O.R. Kennedy. More Kennedy. Call me a conspiracy nut, but I just don't think one nutcase could have set off 15 explosions in 2.5 hours that took out the sides of buildings with letter bombs. That doesn't make any sense. Well, Mr. or Mrs. Kennedy, you're right. And the next comment, very next comment, these are 2 different people. Funny how China is going to support the Syrian government against U.S. wishes, and then an ongoing set of bombs start going off in Chinese cities. Is that a coincidence, he says. Second comment. Hold on a second. Didn't we have some other explosions that were unbelievable in China? Broke records? They were so massive in chemical plants? That's right. We had 3 or 4 in a row. When never before did that happen in China. And when did it happen in China? When China said we're going to devalue our currency, which put a lot of strain and pressure on the US dollar by doing so because of the imports and exports. All of a sudden, China, who devalues their currency, makes it harder for us and other countries to compete because they've devalued theirs. We don't want to devalue ours, not yet. We do, but not yet. And all of a sudden, a bomb goes off. Chemical plant exploded by accident. A day or two later, I want to say 2 days later, they devalue again. Large devalue comes. Another explosion occurs. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Take your stupid, moronic, monkey mind, emotional, human piece out of the equation. JSIP 4, information technology, database applications, programming. That's where my mind is always at. Numbers and equations and getting stuff to work and programming. When I write a program, matter of fact, when anybody writes a program, the program doesn't come with emotions or thoughts on being patriotic no. Program is designed to give you data in, data out, right? Garbage in, garbage out. And if you just were to go to any statistical program in the world and put in all this stuff I'm talking about, explosion happened right after this happened, after that, and ask, computer, greetings, professor. Yeah, listen, computer, would you like to play a game? Nah, not right now, computer. I got a question. How about global thermal nuclear war? Nah, how about tic-tac-toe? But listen, I got to ask you a question. What is the statistical possibilities that these were just some lone bomb guy today? Sorry, you're still calculating? With today's modern technology? Still calculating? That's how insane it would be. That's how insane it would be. That's what the statistics would show you both times. Today with the Parcells nonsense. And not that long ago with the explosions in the factory, the chemical factories. Coinciding with exactly when China does what they did. We devalue. And then the third explosion in China happened when? We just sold $100 billion of U.S. treasuries that we had to help deal with our collapsing markets. We had to. Bomb goes off. Oh, excuse me. Did I say that? Sorry. Chemical plant explodes on accident. I don't know why I keep saying that. That American human mind, I can't get that straight. Expert opinion, we know bombs went off. Moron opinion, dumbed down, educated person's opinion, it was just a coincidence. Dude, 3 times and then a 4th time after that? Yeah. And this guy can pull this off? Now, what I suspect, it's actually, this is hard for me to comment on this part because I almost feel like the club did this. I mean, naturally. There's their kingpin number, 33. Right? The highest level Freemason sign they love to throw out. They've been throwing that 33 out along with all these little dates with the blood moon and the 923, 924 stuff. We've been seeing that a lot with there. So it's almost like their little calling card. So automatically that this is some kind of setup, if you will. Not to say that this was faked, like, these bombs never went off. I'm not saying that. I'm saying whoever did this was either a stooge or they randomly got somebody to blame for this somehow, or was he some kind of mind control victim? I have no idea. But when I saw the age up, a 33-year-old, okay. Then I read the rest of the story and thought to myself the same thing the first and second commenters are thinking. So let's go. Again, this is Russia Today. These are average people coming here just talking. They're not. Russia Today is not a conspiracy website. It's a news website. I read you the first 2 comments. I'm going to go down the line right now to see what other people are saying. Next one, third one. No, capital letters no. Parcel bomb would do that. That's a way to fend off a direct accusation on CIA with very serious implications, but I'm sure that Chinese government knows who armed this Wei guy. Next one. 15 bombs all on the same day, and that does not send a red flag signal. It's a CIA usual false flag event. I don't know what is. And such perfect timing as usual. They love September to cause destruction. It's the Zionist way. CIA is Rothschild's own terrorist organization there to get what Israel wants. Next comment, same guy. Next comment, same guy. Next comment, same guy. And it's like he's talking or he's replying to people. So I don't want to count his comments. I'm going to go to somebody else. The scariest motivation for a major war would be one of destroying lots of stuff and culling the population to clear away a failing post-industrial economy and restart another 50-year bubble of capitalist growth. There's the other one. I already read his. Same guy. Yeah, here's another one. Replied Mark Sheepers, or is that Sheppers? Sheepers, almost like sheeple. Scheepers. A parcel bomb that brings multi-story buildings? No, ladies and gentlemen, this is called war. So, I mean, just over and over and over. Another guy. U.S. conducting hybrid warfare everywhere. World War III already happening on multiple levels and fronts. World War III only ends with nuclear war. Another guy. Hard to believe a citizen of China had access to the kind of explosives that causes this kind of damage and be small enough for a parcel. This would be tough even for military explosives. Looks to me like there may be an Obama in the woodpile. I'm sure we'll never know the truth. And a lot of these comments have, like, ratings up, whatever. This is Russia Today. Do you realize if this happened when I first got started doing these videos in 2009 and 10? And I would go, and even before that, when I would go watch these videos about 9/11 and the nonsense and how that was a false flag attack, and it all made sense, and I'm watching the proof right in my face, and I'd even comment on it, and then other, 8 out of 10 people maybe would be bashing me, and only me and maybe some other person would be like they're trying to fend off these morons. As I mentioned, I'll go back to those old videos from long ago, and it's the complete opposite. Now almost every single person is right on page. Yep, this is a false flag. It makes sense, which is good because that means people are waking up. As the old saying goes about the truth, 3 phases. First, it is ridiculed. Then it is violently opposed. Then it becomes common knowledge. That's what we're seeing. Ain't no way, like they're saying, a little post office bag or letter or whatever caused this. This is news from today, and only today, that I just read you. Is there anyone out there who still thinks blood moon is nonsense? I don't know how or why these dates like this come, and if you think about this, the fact that there's only been 7 of these particular cycles, this particular type of blood moon cycle, in the last 2,000 years. In each of those times, very big, significant historic events have happened, including wars, overthrowing of governments, toppling of governments, you name it. And some of you people have the audacity to say, oh, it came and gone, and nothing happened here. Oh, I thought it was America. It is America? Oh, I thought it was America. Oh, it is. And it's also Rome, the Roman Empire. And if you want to see how this ends, go look at how the Roman Empire ended.